Hello everyone, you're welcome to Familyaspect. This is your friend, your brother, your man on this channel today, and I want to be talking about something very important that is very disturbing in our society today, especially when it comes to family. Remember, this is Family Aspect, and in this channel we talk about situations, challenges that affect families, and what we can do to put ourselves in a good and happy state in families. And also, we talked about several issues that has to deal with having a successful relationship and starting out one in the first place. So we are all about the family aspect, as you know. Now, today I want to share something with you. Is what causes family breakups? Now, this has been a long time challenge in families, as we all know. It has been a whole huge problem. Now, when I was growing up as a child in the area where I lived in my village, I saw, when I mean my village where I was born, the locality where I was born, I experienced and I saw a lot of breakup, a lot of divisions in family. And I wonder why things of such magnitude was taking place. I was disturbed. Quarrels here and there, wives packing their loads and leaving the husband, leaving the children, husband pushing their wives away, driving them out, and the children, running away from homes. A lot of this disorientation taking place in family, division, so to say, and it has been a major concern to me. I've been very disturbed right from childhood when I see these things happen. There's not much to do as a child at that time, but rather you just wonder why things of such magnitude is happening. Now, as I began to grow up, I began to make different choices. I made up my mind that I'm not going to have to live like this. I'm not going to entertain whatever will make my family be like this. It was a decision I made right when I was young, when I saw those things happening. And now I did discover why these things happen. And when I did, I began to walk my way in preventing them in my life and in my family. And I'm still at them, because you never perfect these things overnight. You see, these are principles that you have to work on over the time, and as you grow up, you keep keeping at it. You keep keeping at it because it is something you have to do to keep yourself together. Now, here's the point: what causes breakup in family? Why do we have breakups? Why is family disoriented? Now, number one cause and major, which is obviously everybody knows this, that causes family breakup is infidelity. Infidelity. What does that mean? The action or state of being unfaithful to your spouse or other sexual partner. When you are unfaithful to your spouse, unfaithful to your sexual partner, it actually is called premarital sex. Extramarital sex. Not premarital sex, extramarital sex. That means this is called adultery. Adultery. It is also called unfaithfulness. The Bible talks about adultery and the issue, the problem with it, and what it leads to is family breakup. And both parties are affected in this situation. Both parties are. Now, largely in all around the world, not only Africa, all around the world. Infidelity is a case, is a huge problem, both from guys and women, especially from men. Infidelity is a big issue. And if you're going through breakups right now, or probably you're going through family disorientation right now, I assure you, this is one of the causes. You better look at this closely. If you are experiencing this in your family, I think you should look at your relationship. Look at your life sexually. How is it like? How are you living your life sexually with your partner? That's number one reason why breakup happened. And it affects both parties. Sometimes the women blame themselves and say, if the man is the one that cheats on them, blame themselves and say, why did this happen? What have I done wrong? What is my fault? What is my sin? The man lives with the guilt of it, and it is vice versa. So avoid sexual extramarital sex or sexual activities in your family. Stay faithful to your spouse. It is a key thing. If there is any issue, we'll talk about the solutions in a moment. Now, the second thing that is major that affects again or that leads to family breakups is excessive arguments. Excessive argument. Oh, that is a huge deal in families. Somebody trying to make a point. Somebody trying to make someone understand. Somebody's trying to be right. Someone always wants to be right. So this is actually an exchange of diversion. It's an exchange of opposed views. Trying to exchange views. And typically this is a heated view. It is birthed with anger. You see, it's an angry argument. And a lot of times it leads to fights. It leads to, obviously we call it differences in opinion. We call it squabbled. We call it fight. We call it disagreement. We call it quarrel. We call it clash. We call it dissensions, war of wars, debate, discussion, but disputations, whatever. All of these are names that we call it, but it's wrong. Disagreement is disagreement. Of course, there are room for disagreement, but can we be honest that our disagreement will not lead to fight? Our disagreement or argument will not lead to quarrel? These things, when it happens, remember, excessive one. When it happens all the time, it destroys the trust in the family. It begins to imbibe in the mind of the individual in the family that they are not meant to be there in the first place. It's so important that we understand these things. So avoid excessive argument. Time will not permit me to talk detail on this and how relevant this is, but avoid excessive argument. It will help you. You see, this one breaks family a lot. I've seen that happen all the time. When I was in that state of arguing with my wife, I tell you what, it was always like, am I supposed to be here? It's a thought that comes easily. So avoid argument. And I'll talk to you about what to do. Now, the third thing that breaks family apart, that tears family apart, is this: the abuse of another family member. When there is an abuse of another family member or a family member, you see, there are different kind of abuse, all right? There are different kind of abuses. So we have physical abuse, we have sexual abuse, we have all types of abuse. Abuse is wrong. Abuse is abuse. Abuse is actually defined as the misuse or the abnormal use of something. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That was what Masmuro said, late Masmuro. And that's true. In reality, when you don't know the purpose of a thing, you abuse it. So we have people don't know the purpose of their wives, they abuse their wives. We have people who doesn't know the purpose of in-laws. They abuse their in-laws. We have people who doesn't know the purpose of children. They abuse their children. So the abuse of another member of a family can extremely lead to discontinuity of a family, or divergence of a family, or a breakup that happens in family. Now, these three things are so important to avoid. These three things, they are the three major things. Now, financial problems might come in here and there, but it's not really major that destroys or breaks family apart. If these three things are in place, no matter how difficult things get in your finances, you will still hold up. Both of you will still have hope to achieve success. Both of you will put in efforts to make things work. So the first three major things that you must avoid are these. And these are the things I found out. In most cases, when I was growing up, excessive argument was what was leading many families into such splitting, divisions, excessive argument. So now I want to talk about the solution. Now, I've already talked about the problems. I don't want to focus on them. Let's talk about briefly the solutions. So what must you do now? You see, what are you going to do to avoid these things from happening in your family, in your life, in your relationship? Number one thing that is so key in every family, successful family, good family, happy family, number one thing is communication. You have to learn the skill of talking. I know many men don't like to talk to their wives, and wives don't like to talk to their men, and parents don't like to talk to their children. You can't have that in your life. You're gonna prepare yourself for breakup someday, because it's wrong not to communicate. Communication is the life wire of a successful relationship, of a happy relationship. You got to talk to somebody. Come on now. If you don't talk, you blow up. Yeah. Now listen to this. Communication is the key to any good relationship. First, it is important to communicate with your partner. So important. You see, it's important to know what their needs are. You need to know what your partner needs are. You need to know what they want and provide it. And that can only happen through communication. The Bible talks about that a man should deal with his wife with understanding. What does that mean? It's so that he may be able to serve her needs. So God expects you to deal with your spouse with understanding. Understanding comes through communication. Understanding comes through paying attention. Understanding comes through learning. So you don't communicate, how can you learn? You don't communicate, how can you pay attention to the things that are needed in the family? So that's the first thing, communication. Communication is important to know your partner's needs. But to make family-based decisions as well, you have to communicate. You see, it puts the stress off when you are able to communicate, to know what to do and help your family succeed. That's very important. Then another thing that you must encourage to do is encourage family activities. This is another solution to avoiding all of these problems. Encourage family activities. Don't break your bank doing this. I must advise you. Okay? It's a disclaimer. Now, don't break your bank doing this. What I'm trying to say is, don't spend too much money trying to please your family. No, that's not how to do it. It can mean spending an hour or even an evening, a few times a week playing with your children, playing with your wife, or watching movies. I do that with my wife all the time, most of the time. I spend time because I know she loves watching movies. Sometimes I spend time watching movies with her. I may not want to watch the movie that very day. I might have books to read or things to attend to, but I just want to watch the movies with her. Why? Because it creates that bond. You see, it is the best whole thing to do with your family. Plan out something unique. Do something, activity as a family together. Get involved. Change your family. Make people happy. Listen, when you do these things, you'll be amazed how stronger your bond as a family will be. I believe you're being imparted with this information. I didn't want to spend much of your time today. I want to thank you for watching our channel today, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and watch more content, because you're going to get access to more content as you go. And also, if you like this video, why don't you click the like button on your screen right now and share with your loved ones and those you know that will be imparted with value from this content. Again, also, we are on Twitter. You can see it on the screen. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll be having our posts and other content being posted there. So if you have any question, or probably you want to write to us directly, write to me directly, you can do that. If you have any comments to make, you have the comment section to use, brother or sister. I want you to do that. Make your comment there. Until then, have a great day. I'm going to see you tomorrow in our next video. In our next video, I'm going to show you something very powerful to you. Expect that. Bye.